Today we're going to talk about area, and there's some formulas for the area of polygons. Easy ones are parallelograms, rectangles, and squares because they're always base times height. Whatever the base is times whatever the height is, that's your area. And with a square, since the base and height are the same, you can really just think of it as one of the sides squared. Also important with the parallelogram is the height is not this slanted side right here, it's the actual distance here. And a super important thing is that the base and height are always perpendicular to each other. So anytime you have a base and a height, that's a right angle. That's a right angle there, and a right angle there, and this is a right angle right here as well. With a trapezoid, these don't come up very often, but what you can do is you add the base 1 plus base 2 and divide by 2. Essentially, you're finding like the average. You're finding this, and you multiply by the height. With a triangle, you do base times height and then divide it by 2. You also might see that written some places as 1/2 base times height. Same thing. And with a circle, you hopefully know this formula already, is pi times the radius squared. That's how you'd find the area of a circle. All right, so let's find the area of these shapes here. So first off, this first one is a trapezoid. So the area is base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times the height. All right, so base 1 and base 2, you can name either one. We'll go 3.2 plus 9 divided by 2 times 6. And then we just have to start simplifying things. So what we get here is 12.2 when you add those divided by 2 times 6. And with that, we get this is 6.1 times 6. So for 6.1 times 6, we get 36.6 square centimeters. Area is always a square unit because length is a one-dimensional unit, like we had perimeter. Area is a two-dimensional unit. It has like height and width. So 36.6 square centimeters. Now, with this next one, we have to use the formula for a triangle, which is base times height divided by 2. Now, one quick thing here. This says 9 centimeters. I'm going to change that really quick to 90 millimeters, so we're working with the same units for everything, and then that'll make our life just a little bit easier. So, with this, we got to find which one's the base, which one's the height. And remember, the base and the height are always perpendicular to each other. You got that right angle there. So this and this are the base and the height. We're not even going to use this 100 millimeters, not even once. So let's see, the base is, we'll go with 90 times 76 divided by 2. 90 times 76 is 6,840 divided by 2, which is 3,420 square millimeters. And that's the area of that triangle. And finally, let's look at these composite figures because these are interesting and you can do some cool stuff with these. So first off, if we look at the one on the left, it's formed by a rectangle and a semicircle, which you do the area of a circle and divide it by 2. So let's start easy. Let's start with the rectangle to get this area right here. So the red area is 8 times 5, which is 40 square centimeters. Easy, simple, nothing crazy. Now for this semicircle here, the area is going to be pi times the radius squared, but divide all of that by 2 because it's only half of a circle. Now the real question is, what's the radius on this? Well, the radius is this distance, which is half of this whole distance right here, or half of 5. So with this, the radius is 2.5 centimeters. So in order to do that, let's see, we have the area is pi times 2.5 squared divided by 2. I'm going to do all of this in the calculator and then round it. And it's about 9.8 square centimeters. So then finally what you need to do for the big area is you're going to add the 40 that we had from the rectangle plus the 9.8 from the semicircle, and we get 49.8 square centimeters. All right, let's look over at this things here. So what we have a triangle, and then we have a circle cut out of it. So we're going to get the area of the triangle first, and then we're going to subtract the area of the circle. So I'm going to do the area of the triangle in blue, right here. And the area of the triangle is, of course, base times height divided by 2. So what we're going to do for that is the base and the height are both 32. If you look at this, here's the base, there's the height. So you just plug that in. We got equals 32 times 32 divided by 2, which if you do all of that, gives you 512 square meters. Cool. Now, for that circle, the circle right here, we're going to have to subtract that. So the area of the circle is pi times the radius squared. Our radius is right there. It's 10 meters. So pi times 10 squared. Or, put another way, 100 times pi. And we get about, we're going to round off these pi ones, 314.2 meters squared. So the final step of this is we're taking that circle out of the triangle. So in order to do that, we need to do the triangle area minus the circle area. And we get 197.8 square meters. And that is to find the area of these little pieces right here.